All right, injuries today. Aziz won't practice elbow. Fred won't practice ankle. Elijah no practice concussion knee. Maurice Hurst calf. Kittle knee soreness won't practice. DJ Jones same thing. Greenlaw groin. Alex Mack and Bosa and Dante won't practice. That's not injury. I mean, it's not injury related. Throw Trent Williams in that also. Tart has a glute, he'll be limited, and Ambry concussion, he's limited. Go ahead.
Have you made a decision on the board?
With yeah, he's not gonna be back this year. But no, for the future is what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, I was asking about the window this year.
Yeah, no, he had to be good by today, and he's not, so we're shutting him down.
Where do you go from here with him? Is he rehab? Is he going to stay here?
No, he's not going to stay here because he's done for the year. I think he'll go back to, Kansas City's where he does his other rehab. Then we'll address it after the season.
Do you need any additional surgery or anything like that, or is it just rehab?
No, I think just rest.
Dante's back with the team.
No, he's not back yet. Hopefully we'll have him back later in the week, though.
Elijah's obviously still in the protocol.
Yes.
The announcement was just made that the 49ers will now have a market in Mexico officially through the international program. What are your thoughts on San Francisco possibly playing in Mexico or essentially having maybe a training camp or a camp with players out there?
Oh, I'd be all for it. I love Mexico. I love going there. And it does seem like they got a bunch of diehard Niner fans, too. So we get a lot of love there when we go there, and I always enjoy it.
The games wouldn't be common, though.
I mean, we can make that happen, I'm sure.
Mexico City, not Capital, just to clarify.
I mean, I like Mexican people. I haven't been to Mexico City very much, but I'd always rather play here. But that's definitely a lot closer, and I'm more familiar with that than London, so I've been more down with Mexico City.
Kittle seemed like he was pretty banged up after that game, with a lot of workload, obviously. So, like, what's the concern level? I mean, you said it's a knee rather than a calf, so.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm just told it's soreness. So soreness isn't as much of an injury. It's just game's a violent game. It's tough to get over some of the soreness, and especially with us having a Thursday night game coming up. Just give him a little bit more rest.
Probably a question for Dee, but I know you mentioned his back stuff is probably a lifelong thing. I mean, maybe he's going to rehab. It suggests he still wants to play, but is retirement a possibility for him?
I mean, that's what sounds like it. You'd have to talk to him about that, but I mean, it's a back thing that, I don't know if there's much rehab for it. You got to keep resting it, and we've done that a bunch, so it's been tough on him, tough on us, and it's just an unfortunate injury.
There was a report, I think it was that D. Ford was talking to people saying that he thought that you guys were going to cut him because he can't play this year. Is that a possibility of an outright release or anything like that?
This year?
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that now. I mean, it's always a possibility, but no, that's not something we've discussed yet or decided on.
How similar is what Atlanta does with Cordero as that you do with Debo?
I mean, he's listed as receiver, and they play him at running back a lot, so that is very similar in that way. Yeah, so they're both those two type of players.
They're pretty unique in that they can both function as running backs where a lot of receivers can't. Do you see teams looking for guys like that anymore, or are they just unique that you can use them now?
I think guys look for him. I do think they're unique, but I mean, he was the first one that I ever saw. I mean, he was really good at Tennessee doing it. They used to put him in the eye a lot coming out of college. That year, I remember the top two receivers were him and Percy Harvin. No, it was him and Tavon Austin, and they were both viewed as that way. They were both viewed as receivers who could play running backs, and he was the best I had seen.
Kyle,
Go ahead, man.
Kyle, 4 weeks ago, you're in control of your own destiny. How big was last week's win, considering how jumbled up the 6-7 seeds are on the NFC?
They're huge. I mean, they're all big. And the Thursday night game will be big too. So I mean, each one's big, and it'll probably come down to the last game for a number of teams.
Last week, Pete Carroll announced that their entire team was getting boosters. Have you guys done the same thing, or is there a plan to get like team-wide booster shots for everybody?
No, I mean, that's something they have to decide, just like the vaccine. So that's something you can't plan as a team. You can hope it for the team. We have, and we have all but one vaccinated. So I think we did pretty good there, and we'll see how the guys feel about the booster. I know we all got to do it, everyone in Tier 1 and Tier 2. We got to do that, I think, by next week.
On yours?
It's a personal question, man.
Okay.
No, I haven't got mine yet, but I plan on getting it just as soon as someone brings a needle to me.
After you guys moved up to 3, there was a storyline, probably choking storyline, that you were secretly moving up there to get Kyle Pitts in the draft. Was there ever any kind of reason, were you so focused on quarterbacks that you didn't even look at Pitts, or was there any sort of?
No, I mean, I think I can understand why people said that, just because he was that type of player. But no, we moved up knowing we were doing it for a quarterback, and that's what we focused on. But, we definitely studied him too, and I can see why people said that.
When you were at 12, did you start to look at tape and?
You look at guys trying to order the stuff, but, we had a plan that we were going to get a quarterback, whether it was at 12 or moving up to do it. We knew if we were at 12 and all the ones we wanted went, he would have been a hell of an option. But I don't think he was falling until then.
You guys are winning, so like, what's the big deal? But Debo's production as a wide receiver, has fallen, pretty steeply since he began, playing a lot of running back. Is that, is that an issue or a reason for concern?
No, I don't think so. It's just kind of how it is sometimes. Kittle had some real good stats these last 2 games. Games before that, I don't think he did, but it didn't mean he played much different. It's just how it works out. And, Debo didn't play as much third down. Him not practicing all week, we limited him a bunch just with this play count and stuff. And I think he ended up getting like 40, 45, but didn't have as many opportunities, but the one we did give him an opportunity did pretty good on.
Concerned at all about Robbie Gould?
No, I'm not concerned with Robbie. Robbie's done this for a while. I think, how many game-winning kicks, or ties he's made in a row. I know that was a tough miss, but, Robbie's a pro. He'll bounce back from it, and I expect him to be Robbie.
Kyle, happy belated birthday. How did you celebrate, and did the boys call you? Did they throw a celebration this morning?
No. Birthdays are not very fun in the season. No, it was a normal Tuesday. I kind of forgot it was my birthday for a while, but the cooks and everyone surprised me at lunch for a very awkward birthday song in the taco line. But that was about it. I'll celebrate with my family on Friday. It's our weekend.
Having the close personal experience you have with Matt Ryan, where is he at right now with his game, and what's your biggest concern as far as how to defend him in that offense?
I just know what Matt's capable of. You can still see how well he's playing on third down. I think that's the area that they're the best in, and it starts with him. It doesn't matter how good you block people. If someone's open, he's going to hit them. So you got to make sure you cover people if you want to get to them. And, Matt's a hell of a quarterback. I still think he's playing at a high level. When things are going well around Matt, you'll see him play at a very high level.
Do you know Arthur Smith at all?
I know him from phone conversations, and we've got a bunch of mutual friends, working in Washington, where his dad was part owner there, and then just, having friends who worked with him at Tennessee. And I've talked to him a number of times on the phone, but a lot of respect for him, does some things similar, and like how he does his stuff.
Yeah, what about how his offense, what do you kind of appreciate as far as what his thumbprint is on his offense?
You can tell he believes in the run game, the style that they do it with. Just coming from Tennessee, I think there's some similarities. He replaced LaFleur when LaFleur left to Green Bay. Just being there with the line coach that we had in Atlanta too, and watching the style of runs they do, some of the play actions they do, and things like that.
What do you make of the work that Chris Kasarik has done with Arden Key and just in general the defensive line, which really seems to have hit its stride here the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I feel we got one of the best, if not the best, in Chris. So I think he does a hell of a job every year. You guys see how intense he is out there, and that's not just when you guys are out there. That's every second of the day, 7 days a week. So the D-line have to deal with that a lot. But he coaches them so hard, and but they all do what he says, and they all respect him. He's got so much love for those guys. He cares about them so much, and they got a really good group, and he's always pushing them to get better.
2 games in 10-day period. Does it change the way you do things at all the first week, or do you just get to the first game and then worry about the second game?
No, I think it does. I mean, today we're walking through everything, which we would be doing anyways since it's that time of year. But if it was earlier in the year, I probably would have done it just knowing that we got to make sure we go lighter on these guys to have 2 games in this amount of time. I gave the players a victory Monday, which was our first one on Monday, and that was coming from the East Coast, but it was also knowing how much we're going to be around each other for 10 days straight so that you can have the mental break a little bit, and also to have them away from us so that some of the coaches could do some of their busy work for Tennessee, since next Monday will be a little hectic. So you do some of that stuff, but besides that, you keep the same schedules. All right, thanks, guys.
Good afternoon. How are you guys doing? Doing well. Thank you. Go ahead, guys.
Feeling a little bit better this Wednesday as opposed to last Wednesday?
Anytime we win, I think everybody's feeling good. So anytime we win, everybody's feeling good. But there's never a perfect game, so you look at the tape, you try to get all those things cleaned up. We still got a lot of things that we want to get better at, but the guys are definitely feeling better this week than the week before. But we got a huge challenge in Atlanta, and we're excited this week, just like we were last week, and we're going to be up for the challenge. We can't wait to get to practice. So,
What is it about Wishnowski's punts that are difficult to catch?
yeah, the one thing about him is one of the reasons why we really liked him coming out. He's uber talented. He's super talented. And you guys have seen the progression in his career going into the third year. But he can hang the ball. He's got so many different tricks in his bags, so many different clubs in his bag, that his balls just fall different ways depending on which balls he wants to kick and when he wants to use those. And we obviously talk about that stuff collectively, and he's done a nice job with that over the years he's been here. I mean, he has 16 balls that have either been muffed or bobbled since he's been here, and he does an excellent job at that. So in his short career, he's been here only 2.5 years, but 16 balls either muffed or bobbled, and 5 of those we're lucky enough to recover. 3 of those this year. Sherfield getting 2 of them, obviously one against Jacksonville and the one last week, and then River Craycraft getting 1, so a total of 3 this year. And guys, they really like it. I mean, they really like it. They're hard. We've had guys here try to catch them, Wes, who's done it a ton. Wes says it's one of the hardest balls to catch. Some of our other guys on the staff have tried to catch them. So it's a fun thing we do, and he does a really nice job with that, and hopefully that'll carry forward and help us out some. So turnovers are the biggest thing in wins and losses, and he's helped us get 5 of them since he's been here. So it's been great.
You said you guys talk about when to use certain tricks that are in the bag. I know you don't want to give away the secrets, but like in a general sense, what are like conditions that you're looking for to maybe go with something like that, or what are the things that play in there?
Yeah, win is always a factor. When you talk about those things, but there are also tendencies of the returner as well. So those things you talk about as well, depending on. Not saying that was the case with that kid last week. I'm not saying that he's a good player. I'm not saying anything against that guy. But those are the things you study in general, like every week. What balls does he struggle to catch? What balls does he not like? Which direction does he not like going? Does he struggle with a right to left wind? Does he struggle with a left to right wind? Does he struggle with a banana ball? Does he struggle with, just different types of kicks? And see if you can find a way to help your football team. And I'm glad the punt team was able to do that last week and help the football team. 2 muffs led to 10 points, and that was a good deal. But, again, it's a new week, and that week's over. We got a lot of stuff we gotta clean up, which we've been doing, and we're looking forward to Atlanta. I mean, really are. Looking forward to this next game. I mean, it's like I told you guys last week, whether it's a good play or a bad play, like it's on to the next in this league, and we got a huge challenge this week, and we can't wait to play these guys.
The onside kick recoveries across the league have been up. How much of the new rules do you think that they put in? How has that helped maybe make that play a little more?
Yeah, I think the rules have helped tremendously with that stuff. I think those guys do a great job of looking at rules every year, and we're also always involved in that somewhat as well. But I think the league is trending in the right direction with that stuff, with the rules and the onside kicks and the safety on kickoff, and it's trending in the right direction. It's fun to be a part of.
Punts, the 2 muffs on Sunday, were they different punts? And was the first one a banana and the second one something different?
Yeah, I would love to answer that question for you, Matt. I can't tell you which ones were which, but they were 2 different type of punts. Yeah. What is a banana ball? Check it out. You do a lot of reporting. You know what a banana ball is.
One may have been a knuckle. Is that accurate?
One of them did knuckle. Yes. One of them did knuckle.
When you were watching him at Utah, did you see the returners struggling with his punts then as well?
Sure. And also, I mean, when we worked them out live we did obviously you get a chance to go and work a kid out. Did a nice job at the combine with that stuff. And Mitch, when we went to work him out, Quan and I did, Utah, when we went to work him out, we just remember being in awe of all the different things that the kid could do. I mean, not only can he kick it with a great hang-to-distance ratio, I mean, he can kick it as high and as far as he wants to kick it. He can have it drop a different way. He can even kick a ball left-footed. I mean, he can kick a ball left-footed too, which was ridiculous. And it's just as good. It's not better than his right foot, but he can kick a ball left-footed, and it's amazing to see. He's talented as hell now, I'm telling y'all. So.
Help your return guys to be able to have to field his punts once in a while?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when we first got here, everyone was in awe about the hang time and just how long it hung up there. I remember Trent Taylor, who was here. You guys know Trent, love Trent to death. I remember Trent talking about how hard it was and how high it hung up there. So Mitch has done that stuff throughout his career here, and we hope it carries forward. But he's still got a long way to go. It's a long season, but he's doing well. I mean, he fluctuates between top 5 and top 10 in net, which is a team stat, which we like because first you have to protect, and then we have to punt, and then we have to cover. So that's one of the most important stats to us is net punt because it includes everybody, not just gross, just kicking the heck out of the ball and then it runs 20, 30 yards back down your throat, and now the defense goes out there. You don't really want that either. So to me, he and Hecker right now are the 2 guys that are the best in the league right now at eliminating return yardage and having good nets and flipping the field.
If something were to happen to Mitch during a game as far as his right leg, is the backup punter Mitch's left leg?
It could be an option. That could definitely be an option. Yeah, he's talented, guys, and we just got to keep coaching him, and he's got to keep working his tail off. And he was better on kickoffs this week as well. He had 3 touchbacks in that tough weather and the kickoff coverage. They improved. So Mitch is a weapon for us, both on kickoffs and punts and changing field position. And he's really people don't know it because people don't study it a ton, but that's what I do all day. I look at, 1,000 special teams plays over and over, so when you got a guy that can help flip the field position in two ways like that, it's special. And it's not a lot of punters in the league that can do that. So he's done a great job at it. And again, they limited those guys to 13 yards of return. And that's a good unit we played against. So, and we're going against another good unit this week in Avery Williams. It's a good returner. So we got a huge challenge, and our focus is really more on Atlanta more than anything else. So.
Can Mitch be the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week? Do you feel he's deserving?
I'm always gonna love my guys to be the Special Teams Player of the Week, but he definitely they've already announced that, obviously, and he didn't win it, but he's won one. He's won the NFC Special Teams Player of the Month. He's won Special Teams Player of the Week. I want him to win NFC Special Teams Player this week. I'm done with last week. I want him to win this week. But yeah, he in the punt coverage, they love him. So he's special, and I'm glad we got him. So.
Is there any concern with Robbie Gould?
No, Robbie's done this for a ton of years. Robbie will get back to work like he always does, and I know he'll be excited to go out there and kick again. But he's mentally tough. He's no concern there. It's a reason why he's kicked 17 years in this league. It's a reason why he's on the top of the all-time list. There's reasons for that. And he'll get back to work, and there's no concern there for me at all. And I don't think there's any concern there for anyone here. So.
The role on offense is so substantial. I don't know how much he's returning kicks now, but is Cordero Patterson still pretty much the gold standard in terms of that role?
Yeah, to me, in my era, since I've been watching this, Dante Hall was phenomenal to start, and then when I first started kind of looking at it, and then you just study the game. There are guys even before him that were phenomenal. But tape doesn't really go back that far. I just know of them from history. And then Devin Hester, to me, was the best to do it. And then Cordell's right there behind him. Cordell is phenomenal. Obviously, he's a kick returner. Doesn't do punts like Devin did, punt and kick return. And he hasn't been back there as much, but we prepare for him just like anybody that's returned a kick on the roster. We prepare for everyone like we're going to play him. So if they put him back there, we're preparing for him just like we're preparing for Avery Williams.
I should know this. Colquitt, is he a left-footed punter?
Yeah, but he is no longer there. So Morstead, and they've had a couple different punters this year. So it's not easy to keep up with. They've had 3 or 4 different ones in there this year, and no worries. It's interesting. Morstead played against Atlanta, and now he's punting for Atlanta this year, and he's a good player. You guys know Morstead. He's been good throughout his career. So we got a tough challenge. We got to be ready to go.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you. More than Anderson's gone. Yeah, for sure. In the Hall of Fame.
Doing good. Doing good.
What kind of distinguishes the Falcons defense when you start to dive into their film?
Very good tackling team. I think it starts there. The front's pretty talented. You know, a couple guys who could pass rush pretty well and also play the run. But yeah, they're solid across the board. You know, really, I don't know. They're in a good spot right now. It seems like.
What do you mean by that?
Just, I mean, their guys are playing well on the perimeter, playing well up front. Linebackers, Deion Jones can run as well as anybody. So it's just, it's a good group.
Early in the season, something like 80% of the completions were going to Debo. This last game especially, you guys spread the ball around. Even on that last drive, I think 4 different receivers. How much more sustainable is offensive success, and how important is it to spread the ball around the way that you have that?
Tremendous. I think, you know, I can remember early in the season, Debo getting all that attention and everything, and I think it opens other guys up. And then obviously the injury, you know, things happen with that. But I think whenever you could spread the ball like that to different positions and different guys at those positions, it makes it tough on defenses, you know, especially in situational football. End of game, third down, you know, who's going to get the ball? They have to defend everything.
You have a game like Sunday where George got so many balls. Do you go into a game knowing, okay, this is going to be a Kittle game, or is it something that do you have an idea of it, or is it something that you sort of just develops?
You have an idea of it. I think more so probably around halftime, you really have a good feel for what they're doing and, you know, how we're going to attack in the second half. But yeah, I couldn't have told you that on Wednesday. You know, George is going to have 13 catches or whatever, but you have an idea of it going into it.
What did Juwan Jennings, some key moments that he made some clutch catches? What has he done to earn your trust?
JJ starts with his attitude. Very positive guy. Even when, you know, if he messes something up in practice, he'll come up to me and, you know, he knows what he did wrong and knows how to fix it. When a receiver can do that with a quarterback, you gain trust with each other. He gains it with me and vice versa. And he's just done that day in and day out. You know, he really didn't have a ton of opportunities early on, and now he's getting his chance. When the ball's thrown his way, the dude makes plays.
After the Arizona game, you said that it felt like your backs were up against the wall and it helped you kind of lock in. How has that kind of carried forward into maybe as you go down the stretch here and trace the playoffs?
I'd really put us into I don't want to call it playoff mindset back then, but I mean, for a little while now, we've been in a playoff mindset. Just the way we prepare, you could feel it in the locker room, you could feel it on the practice field. It's just, I don't know, that little bit of extra pressure, motivation, whatever you want to call it, just helps guys lock in a little better.
A lot of teams around the league are dealing with COVID outbreaks, and it seems like the league's ramping up stuff again. Has that been addressed with you guys, and how have you guys avoided a lot of this season?
A little bit of luck. Guys, I don't know, just it's really about, you know, putting the team first. When you're away from the facility, all those things that you do, they come back to bite you in the butt, you know, on the back end. But I think guys realize what type of opportunity we have this year. I think coming down the stretch especially, things are starting to get, you know, pretty serious now. And it's just, I don't know, we got a good group of guys, and when we're all on the same page like this, it makes for a good thing.
A lot of examples this year, particularly recently, you know, big moments and kind of big drives. You've done pretty well. It hasn't always worked out like Seattle. But, you know, as a quarterback, emotionally, do you feel like are there nerves? Do you have a sense of calmness? Or what are your emotions like when you know, okay, we have to score a touchdown?
There's definitely a lot of emotion, especially this past one, just the way that they came back and everything, scored at the end there. But yeah, I don't know, I always catch myself just trying to calm down and just let things happen as they may. I don't know, it's you feel all of the energy around you, everyone, you know, going nuts and everything, but as the quarterback, you kind of just have to be in the middle of everything, kind of be the eye of the storm and just be right there. I don't know, there's really no secret to it. It's just got to simplify it and go play football, really.
Is that something you learned through experience? I mean, your first couple times, are you kind of internally freaking out or not?
I'd say back in maybe high school, college, something like that. I mean, as a quarterback, you progress, you know, since you start playing, and I don't know, the more you get put in those situations, you just get more and more used to them, I guess I could say. And I don't know, I'm trying to think of like a little secret or something, but there's really no secret to it. You just gotta go play.
As a group, the offense really struggled in the second half for most of the second half, and then as a group, you just flipped the switch in overtime. What is it about this? Is it just that you've been in this position before?
Yeah, kind of what I was saying, just the experience. I mean, even 2 years ago, we were in a lot of those same situations. Just when it comes down to it, at that end of the game, you got one drive. I I don't know, there is a calmness, I guess you could say, of just looking in the huddle, looking at each other's eyes, and, you know, it's a good feeling to it.
Jimmy, bear with me on this. I have to ask you a New Year's Eve question. Do you have, and let's just pretend it's the
All right.
31st. Do you have any hopes and wishes for the new year?
Oh, jeez. Hoping to get through this year first, but I don't know. You're catching me off guard with that one. I don't know. Hopefully have a happy, healthy year. I don't know, something like that. That's so cliche, but sorry. Yeah.
George was talking about how hard the turf was, and then he'll have a practice day off to kind of heal up, and you'll have other guys that do that. Kyle was mentioning that you got the 2 games in 10 days, so things will be changed. As a quarterback, you really don't get those days off like other positions do. What's the key to you to bouncing back? I mean, you got sacked a decent amount of times in that game. It was an overtime game. Was it a rough Monday?
We've had rougher Mondays. I'll say that. I don't know. It's just football. You got to get back to it. I think this time of year, everyone's dealing with something, you know, whether it's on the injury report or not. Guys, everyone's dealing with something. I don't know. Whenever I start to feel sore, I think of the linemen and all the shit that they're going through. Sorry, all the stuff they're going through. I mean, what they do on a day-to-day basis physically is not even comparable to me. So whenever I feel sore, just got to think back to something like that. All good? All right, thanks, guys.
Take a good look. Everybody's analyzing, kind of, what does it look like? Right. Feeling great. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a positive that I was able to finish the game, and then obviously it kind of swelled up after, but nothing serious.
You see parallels with how Atlanta uses Cordero and the way you use Debo, and kind of weapon is he to defend?
I'd say that's safe to say. You know, anytime a guy has over 500 receiving yards and rushing yards, that's pretty special. And I think him and Debo are very similar, but I mean, I think they use him more as like they're a true running back. You know, so I mean, that's where the offense is going to run through. Is 84, runs the ball super hard, really good player. We got to make sure we bring it.
Is it weird watching Falcons tape and not seeing Julio Jones there?
Oh, the Falcons tape. Yeah. I mean, they're missing a couple of their big targets. I think that's why they're using Patterson the way they are. They got Kyle Pitts now, and they're relying on him heavy to be the playmaker for them. So it is a little weird not seeing Julio out there though, for sure.
Its responsibility will you and the linebackers have on Sunday?
Same as any week, I'd say. We're asked to be on the tight end for sure throughout a game in certain situations. I don't think that'll change.
Jimmy Moore does too sometimes, right? Jimmy seems to really enjoy that.
Yeah, you see he takes pride in his locking down tight ends. So this is another week to prove that.
You guys are rolling pretty good in 2019, and the Falcons came here. Is that something that sticks with you a little bit?
That's funny. I did think about that earlier, but this is a whole new team on both sides. Whole new team for us, whole new team for them. Obviously they're coming into our place again. We got to make sure that they're having a pretty good year. I feel like they're still winning games, and they're kind of where we're at, and we just got to make sure we come out and we're on top of it. Because it's going to be a battle out there.
With D Ford, Kyle said he wouldn't be able to play again this season. How is he? Obviously, it's been a brutal 2 seasons for him. How has he, dealt with that behind the scenes?
It's tough, as a competitor, you want to be out there, especially with that kind of injury. That anytime you're dealing with something with the back, that's tough. I think he's been trying his hardest to get out there. It just hasn't worked out. It's had those setbacks, and we miss him out there for sure.
Actually, this morning, the NFL announced international markets for specific NFL teams. One of them being the 49ers was assigned to Mexico. What are your thoughts on the possibility of playing in Mexico, potentially having a training camp, or just being able to go out there and meet your fans?
I mean, that sounds great. Having that heritage in my background, that'd be awesome. I think anytime we get to go outside of the country and play the sport that we love, that's a pretty unique opportunity, and to be able to meet those fans would be really cool.
George Kittle doing his balance beam routine in the locker room?
Yeah, we actually have one set up in the weight room. Guys get on it and challenge one another, see who can go backwards, forward, sideways on it. But yeah, I think George was the one who introduced it. He would carry it around. It's like his mini one that he brought during training camp, OTAs, trying to improve that foot strength from the injury he had last year, and obviously it's paying off a little bit.
You take part in it too.
I try, yeah.
Who's the balance beam champion?
I'd probably say myself.
Jimmy was talking about being in pressure situations in a drive, and he can't explain it. You just have to go through the experiences. What do you see about his presence in tough situations and being common lead in the offense?
Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm assuming, yeah. No, I mean, he's as cool as they come. He's even keeled throughout the entire game. I wouldn't say he gets too high or too low. And I think that's executing in those high pressure situations just is a product of his preparation. The work he puts in practice, going through those, and not just going through the motions, but really taking yourself through it, and you kind of got to visualize in those moments this is game on the line. So when you're in that moment, it's not too big. You've been there already in your mind, and so he's continued to do that for us, and we're going to need it.
You guys already had a pretty healthy respect for him, anyway, for Jimmy. But I'm just curious if that when the guy that's drafted to kind of take his place, and then to see the way he's playing and the way he's conducted himself the last several weeks, especially, do you even have more respect for him now?
I mean, yeah, you have to. I mean, a guy who has been counted out the entire time he's been here, probably other than the year he came in, he stepped up, and that's the sign of a true competitor when all odds are against you and you're able to kind of rise to the occasion and continue to play at a high level. That's as impressive as it comes. So he's doing a heck of a job for us. Cool. Thanks, guys.